Okay, so we are on the ground at Bonn Cologne Airport with the Contrail Dassault Falcon 50, or FA50 as it's called in the excuse me, in the Contrail store. I think it's been developed by Contrail themselves. I think it's one of the first projects they've actually created themselves. And we're going to have a look around it with the drone camera first. And I'm going to apologise for my voice in advance. I've not been very well the last few days, which is why I haven't really been flying very much, but I've been busy doing documentation and things like that. So we're going to have a look around it, and then we'll take it for a fly. So we're going to fly it from Cologne over to Berlin. And we've got Say Intentions running in the background, so that will be providing air traffic services along the way. It should be a fun flight. So you can see immediately the level of the model on the airplane is very, very good. You'll also notice in the notes of the video I've written up a functional procedure to kind of guide you through starting the airplane up. It tells you what keys to press, where to look, what to turn, what to press, what to configure to get the airplane ready in a pretty much book accurate manner. I am still refining it, so I may end up changing the order of some of the things where they don't necessarily have to be in the written order, just to make things easier for newcomers. Obviously I always miss all of the tests out of the functional procedures that I write up, so it's up to you. Obviously, once you've got the bare bones of starting the airplane up, there's obviously a lot more you could add around doing all the checks and tests, but especially in high fidelity airplanes like this one, where a lot of the tests do actually work. So you can see the modelling is really good, isn't it? So let's go and have a look around the undercarriage legs. It's very cool. So you will see the airplane has got 3 engines, so I've had to create a specific profile for it to control 3 engine axes or throttle axes on one or 2 sticks in my case. So I've got one engine bound to one lever and 2 of the engines bound to another lever, because I only have 2 throttle levers. So let's just go and have a little look and see what sort of resolution the signage is. It's pretty good, isn't it? Okay, let's go inside and have a look around the interior of the airplane. Now, there's going to be lots of clickable bits and pieces in here. I'll come back with the normal pilot view a bit later, but you can see just looking around immediately, it's very, very good, isn't it? So let's get really close to some of these materials to see what the modelling is like. It's very, very good. Okay, so let's go down to the cockpit. Maybe we have a look in the snacks and drinks on the way. So we've got a very nice looking cup of coffee down here, and a cafetiere. That cafetiere is going to fall over, isn't it? You think they'd want to stow that before takeoff? So then we can come into the main cockpit, and we've got pilot and co-pilot sat in here. Let's have a look overhead first. So it's all pretty straightforward, actually. You'll see once we get the airplane up and running to configure things. Come down and look at the main instrument panel. You've got the engine instruments in the middle, obviously. You've got elements of glass cockpit. It's a fairly old airplane. It's not the newest. You'll see the results of it being of a certain age in the flight management system. It's not as intuitive as the more modern flight management systems, but the rest of the kit, like the initial navigation system and the APU controls, are pretty straightforward. It has got this common theme that you see in airplane of this vintage, where the controls for the autopilot are on the pedestal, but they reflect on a screen in front of you. So in the real world, that's not a problem, because you've got, obviously you can feel with your fingers what you're pressing and be looking sideways. So I've gone and configured some custom views to help me deal with that. I'll show you them in a moment. But otherwise, it's pretty cool. There's a green card we can get rid of in a few minutes that's on the front of the airplane there. You'll notice there's also a rail all the way around. I've not actually tried it yet. I don't know if it's got a shade hanging from it or not, or if we can influence that. In the real world, this would have shades that you can clip to it. Yeah, they may not have modelled it. Something that is worth noting, if we look around the cockpit, different versions of the aeroplane have got slightly different loadouts than each other. So this one doesn't have an oxygen bottle, for example. Some of them do. If we have a look around on here, can we see? Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's interesting that different versions of the airplane have got slightly different loadouts. Okay, so I'm going to press, or remove the drone camera, put it back outside the airplane. We're going to have to go and do the walk around, because you can see there's things we have to remove around the airplane, so we'll go do that. So I'm going to turn my Xbox controller off, otherwise it will start vibrating when we're running down the runway and will shake my desk to pieces. Okay, so Shift and X puts us back inside, Shift and C puts us back in the walk around, so we can go and remove the various covers from the static ports. And okay, that's done several in one go there. Remove the pitot covers. Now, underneath the nose wheel here, you've got a oh, I've forgotten what it's called, a torque lever. I'm just trying to remember the words. My brain's not working very well today, as you will have noticed. I'm just pulling up the checklist while we're looking at this. And I want the FA50. I'm just pulling up the procedure that I'm going to be walking through with you. So, the torque bar, that's what it's called. So this connects the nose wheel steering, essentially. Because the reason you can disconnect it is you can connect the truck to push the airplane around. I'm not going to do it in the video, but you can see how that would work. It just frees up the nose wheel. Okay, so then we come back down to the engines, remove the covers from those, and we'll go and close the door. We can magic ourselves back into the cockpit, thankfully. Press Shift and C and we're back in the quiet, and we can actually start working around the cockpit. So I did mention earlier, there's this whole problem of being able to see the screens when you're using the autopilot controls. So if you click on the base of the yokes, you can make them disappear. I'll leave the Copilot one in place, it's not so important. So I've gone and connected Alt and 1 as a custom view to show me these buttons really easily, so when I'm explaining things, it's easy. And then Alt and 2 shows me those buttons and the navigation display. Okay, so Shift and Space will bring us back into the middle of the cockpit. So first things first, we're going to go and open the tablet that's here in the aeroplane, and you can see I've already got it on a screen in here. So there's the home screen of the tablet. It's got ground operations, weight and balance, charts and options. If we just hide it again, if I press Tab to show the native one in the simulator, same tablet, yeah? So I can come in here, go to More Apps, and there's the Contrail FA50 app. And it shows you exactly the same tablet. Obviously, it looks a bit prettier if you use the one that's built into the airplane, because it's mapped in 3D into the airplane instead of being two-dimensional. Okay, so first things first, we're going to go into the weight and balance app. But before we do that, we're going to look in options. And you can see in here, if we go to global, we get various bits and pieces, including the SimBrief username. Okay, so that's what's going to connect you up to be able to go and get your flight plans and things like that. So then you've got various options you can switch on and off within the airplane. If we go down and have a look, it's fairly straightforward stuff. Okay, so getting back to this, weight and balance. We can go in here and we can click on download for SimBrief. Okay, so if we just say download and it will fetch it, you can see it applied it immediately. We can start the refueling immediately. We've probably got enough fuel already. So then that will do that for us. If we go over here, we can click on that green card in the window and get rid of it. We can then press Shift and 5 to go overhead, and on the DC system panel up here, we can put BAT 1 and BAT 2 to on, and then rotate the bus tie to the horizontal setting, and then the fuel system in the middle, we can turn on the engine 2 booster. This is for the fuel for the APU to use. Okay, so then exterior lights down the bottom, we can go and turn on the nav and logo light. So we're going to roll the mouse wheel over that to control it easily. And then down the side of the co-pilot with Shift and 9, we're going to rotate the INS system to align. And it's not so obvious in broad daylight, but it's saying align. It will start flashing on nav ready when it's ready to go. So then by the same token, we can put the APU on while we're over here as well. So we can go put the master switch on. Again, in broad daylight, it's not so obvious. Press Gen, and then this will change color, and we can press start on it, and you'll see the numbers coming up. And once it's spooled up, you'll see the gen load flick up, basically meaning that we've got power that we can use. And we'll also get the option to use bleed air while we're here. So you'll suddenly see this shoot up now, there it goes. Then we can switch on the bleed air, and you'll hear the fans come on. Okay, so once we've done that, we can go back overhead. We can put the AC1 to on or up at the top right, and AC2 to on. We can turn on EFIS 1, we have to move the view slightly to do it, and then EFIS 2, and the radio master switch. Then over on the pilot side panel, remember we did the INS the other side, so we can do the same this side. It'll be a while until we come back and turn them to nav, so that's fine. So then Shift and 2, we're going to go and turn on the flight management computers. So turn each one of them on. They go through a boot up sequence. You can see a green light flashing at self-test. So we just wait for that to happen. And then once it's finished, we can press enter to log into them. Just wait patiently for that to happen. Doing everything live, so I'm not editing this video, you're seeing this as it happens. There we go. So initialization has happened, press enter and press enter. You only need to program one of them. I'm just configuring it. So you will see, because we are connected to SimBrief, I have got a flight plan filed in SimBrief. So your list of SimBrief or recent SimBrief flight plans will be listed on this screen. To get to this, you can press the FPL button. So normally FPL, that would be your method of programming a flight plan. If you want to pull it in from SimBrief, you press FPL again and it toggles to the list. Then you select the item. If we had many, this would toggle between, you can see, look, next flight plan and this one. So it's quite interesting. You'll see this in other elements of the display when we choose SIDs and styles and things. So we're choosing this one, we press enter, it's previewing the flight plan, so we say select that one and press enter again, and that's loaded the flight plan into the active flight plan in the flight management computer. So this in in common with lots of other aeroplanes, that will only have done the route, not the departure or the arrival. So let's go and have a look in SimBrief. We've got the Pod 1 Romeo, standard instrument departure, and runway 31 right. So let's go and sort that out, shall we? So depart. Notice it's going for the line and then the next line. So each of these buttons does 2 lines. Okay, so you have to toggle between them to get the one you want and then press enter. So we're doing the departure. We want to depart runway 31. Have I got the right flight plan here? EDDK, EDDB. Let's have a look. Yes, I have. Runway. So they're saying 32 right, which is interesting. And it's not giving me the options for the runways, which is really interesting. It's only giving me 24 and 06, which is there. Which means we won't be able to choose that departure. EDDK, let me just double check this. It's showing EDDK. Can it go next and previous? No, it can't. That's really, really odd. Let me just double check something. If we go to Navigraph and the hub, has this aeroplane got its own set of nav data and does it need updating? No, it doesn't. So we've hit a bit of a roadblock straight away. Oh, that makes it fun though. So that means we would have to ask for vectors for the departure from the controller, which is fine. So we just won't set a departure. Okay. Okay. So if we come back out of there, then we just press flight plan to come back. So we can't set a departure. Can we set an approach or an arrival? Will it have the arrivals listed for Berlin? We've got the Ogby 1 Romeo into runway 06. So arrive, enter, Ogba, enter, 1 Romeo, enter. Okay, that's that done. So then flight plan. Is that letting us choose between? Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it, the way it works? It's a bit clunky. Flight plan. And then the approach, enter, will be runway 6 right. Enter. And let's go and have a look at them just to confirm which exact one we want. So there's 6 right. And if we go in this and go show arrival approaches, we can confirm this in Navigraph as well. So we just want to go and have a look. There's the X, Y and Z look. There's X. Oh, this is 6 left. We want 6 right. There's Y. There's Zulu. That's the one we want that connects up with the end of the star. So it's the ILS Zulu 06 right. Enter. Enter. And we've now got 4 pages worth of flight plan to fly through. That's a shame we haven't. I'm just going to have one more look at that departure because that's weird. EDDK, yeah, it's not listing the runway, is it? Very, very odd. Anyway, not going to worry too much. We kind of know what direction we're going. We just may not follow the... we'll have a conversation with the controller about it and see what they say. Okay, so we've done the basic routing. We can display the visual flight plan over here. If we press the HSI mode a couple of times, you'll see the plan shows up. We can also press course a couple of times, and you'll see the mode changing here. Nav2 and FMS. Okay, so that's going to show the basic route. Or it shows like an HSI projected on. Okay, I'm just reading my own notes here to make sure I don't miss anything out that's too obvious. We can also go over here and press the on button on the Garmin and press map and OK the barrow, and it will show us a really detailed map, a GPS map there, so we can zoom in on that endlessly, and it projects the flight plan onto it. Okay, so we can also press the AFIS button above the FMC display. So let's go find that. I've forgotten half of this stuff since I first looked at it. This is the problem. AFIS is just down here. And we can also show a map on this just to show you how this works. So if we select WX Graphics and press enter, we can also have a map shown here, which is quite cool. So you can zoom in and out and see the same detail. You can zoom, I think that's the maximum. Oh no, we can go all the way down to the airport quite closely. But you can also in here choose whether you're north up or aircraft centered and so on and so forth. So it's pretty cool, isn't it? We'll put it back on flight plan for the moment. Okay, so we're going to go and set the altitude pre-selector, which is over here. Before we do that then, we're going to need to go and talk to clearance. Get ATIS first. If it comes up.
Home Bonn.
There we go.
Advise
information is hotel. That's all we need to know. So we go back to clearance. Clearance Virtual 073 requesting clearance to Berlin with information hotel. Give it a moment to wake up. Taking a while, aren't they? Should we try a radio check just to make sure? Clearance, Virtual 073, radio check please.
Virtual 073, Cologne Bonn Airport clearance, Roger, readability 5.
Clearance, Virtual 073, requesting clearance to Berlin with information hotel.
Virtual 073, cleared to Berlin via the PODIP 1 Romeo departure, runway 31 right, initial climb 5000. Departure on 121.055, squawk 6736.
Cleared to Berlin on the PODIP 1 Romeo departure, runway 31 right, initial climb 5000, departure 121.055, squawk 6736, Virtual 073. Okay, so 5,000 feet we want to put into the altitude.
Read back correct contact ground on 121.73.
We'll contact ground 121.73, Virtual 073, thank you. Okay, so we can go and set our transponder 6736. Let's see if we can find it.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf
there's
of
ADF radios, there's the common nav radios.
And I would like to welcome you aboard Flight 073, departing from Kaplan-Bonn Airport and heading to Berlin-Brandenburg Airport. We kindly ask you to take your seats according
Where
to
have they
boarding
hidden
passes,
the
stow your
transponder?
hand luggage in the overhead bins or under the seats in front of you. If you need any assistance during the flight, please do not hesitate to reach out to any member of our crew. Thank you for choosing to fly with us today.
Actually, I'll go through the views while we're here. Shift and 1 shows you the primary flight displays. Shift and 2 shows you the flight plans. Shift and 3 shows you the co-pilot displays. Shift and 4 shows you the central pedestal. Shift and 5 shows you overhead. Shift and 6 shows you outside the fuel panel. Shift and 7, I think you can open this. This is why they're showing you it. So, is there any click spots on it? Well, maybe you have to do it from inside. There we go. So you can go in here and use that. Shift and 7 shows you the engine gauges. Shift and 8 and 9 show you the side panels. So I'm just going to come back to Shift and 4 and have another look. There's the transponder. Couldn't see it from my own face. There it is. Look. So we're going to go and set it to 6736. 6, and it works differently than any transponder you've ever seen before. So it's in standby, which is correct for the moment. We can leave everything else as is for the time being. Okay, get back in the cockpit. We can press Shift and Space, and we can press comma to calibrate the altimeters. And we can go and pre-select the autopilot modes as we wish them to be enabled. So I'm going to go and press Alt-1 to have a quick look. So we've got heading mode here, and we've got nav mode, and so on and so forth. No, nav mode's not going to be much use to us because we haven't got the departure programmed in properly, so we will be using heading. Notice they do light up, which is quite cool. And when you press heading, obviously it shows the mode up here. Obviously, if we try the others, you'll see those changes happen, hopefully. Interesting. Oh, there we go, sorry. That's obviously representing heading is up here. Talking rubbish. So, if we go FMS, there you go, look. And heading mode. And obviously as you press the different buttons, you've got climb there and pitch mode. So we'll just leave it on heading for the moment. Yeah, obviously it's interesting that if you press it twice it switches it back off again. So you need to be careful about being quite positive with your selections. And yeah, there's the nav button, there's heading. It's a shame that it's so far away, it's difficult to kind of see. You will notice though, I think there's a way of representing this inside the cockpit. These are all click spots. So I think there's an option for it to be labelled up somewhere in here. Let's have a quick look. So we go into options. Yeah, AP control labels. So if we turn those on, there we go, look. You get little labels on some of the screws. So there's the vertical speed, indicated airspeed. You can roll the mouse wheel on this screw. There's the altitude, so you can set your target altitude. Let's have a look and see what happens with that. Yeah, it's not going to... If we look over at the other side, over there, look, it's moved. So that seems a bit counterintuitive to me because it's just as easy to put the mouse over there. But anyway, so we've got yaw damper on off, vertical speed. Obviously that doesn't make any difference while we're in pitch hold mode. But yeah, so it's fairly straightforward. Okay, so while we're looking around the cockpit, we're going to then go and pull the button on the attitude indicator, the standby attitude indicator. Okay, so something that's not so obvious is if you look behind yourself down here, notice that's where the card got put. You can click on the top of this second little clipboard and it's your takeoff calculator. So based on what we've seen, it will have got the data in here, so we can go and sync the weight and we can sync the bugs, and that will have moved the bugs around the outside of the indicated airspeed meter. So this obviously gives you as well though your trim setting, so flaps 20 degrees. So if we go and have a look over here, we'll do the flaps in a few moments. Obviously we haven't got any hydraulics running yet, so I'm just reading through my own notes again. So we've set that up, we've done the performance, so shift and 2 will bring us over to the oh, I've got the wrong button pressed there. Anyway, okay, I need to fix that. So shift and 1, shift 2, shift 3, shift 4, shift 5, shift 6. They're a bit random, aren't they? It should have been shift 7. I'm going to fix this while I'm doing this. Fixing my own documentation. Okay, so shift and 8. We should see by now that this, yeah, it's not too obvious in this sunlight that that's flashing. So switch that to nav, and then shift and 9. If we switch that to nav, and having done that, you will see that this is all working. Then shift and 5 will bring us overhead. We can put check that gen 1, 2 and 3 are up. They are. We can prepare for pushback and engine start. So we want to go and tell people to put the seatbelts on. We want to put the no smoking lights on. Make sure the emergency lights are armed. And turn the anti-collision lights to red. Fuel system, engine 1 boosters and engine 3 boosters go to on. And then we can do pushback if we need to, and we do, because we're pushed in against a load of stuff here. We need to be pushed away from the all the hardware. So let's go and talk to ground. Ground virtual 073 requesting pushback and engine start.
Virtual 073, push and start approved. Face northeast.
Push and start approved, face northeast, virtual 073. So let's go and have a look on the map, see where we are. So we need to face northeast, so we need to be facing that way, because they're going to make us taxi down Alpha, aren't they, to 31 right. So tail to the left. Okay, do we get any controls in here? This is me finding my way as while I'm doing this, so you're seeing me learn the aeroplane live. Ground operations. Did we close the main door? Yes, we did. Oh yeah, I closed it by hand, didn't I? So we don't appear to have control over pushback. So I'm just going to press Alt and P then, and we'll see what happens. So if I take the parking brake off, yeah, we've got an invisible tractor today. Let's hope we don't get pushed into that shed, because you never quite know what the flight simulator will do to you. Being a business jet, you can quite often start the engines while you're on the stand, so we're kind of following commercial traffic rules here, where you get away from the people before you start the engines, but the chances of anybody being sucked over a wing into the engines is 0 with this, so it will normally be fine. So we'll press Alt and P. We're going to end up doubling back on ourselves, aren't we? So I've turned off the pushback. So go back overhead.
Tray tables to the upright position and ensure window blinds are open for takeoff and landing. Mobile phones
And we're going to look at the engine section on the left and press the start red button for each engine. So we'll go for the middle one first. Having done that, if you come down here, you will see the numbers coming up.
Oxygen masks will drop automatically if needed.
And if you watch the N2, it's already there, isn't it? So we can go and... Now, this is quite tricky to get to. I should have made a view for this. Should we do it now? So I'm going to press Control
To
Alt
use,
3.
pull it out,
There.
place it over your head, and fasten it.
So there's
Inflate only
engine
after
number
leaving
2.
the aircraft. Special life vests
You
for
can see
children
the
are
numbers
available.
coming up.
Floor level lighting will guide you to the nearest
So
exit,
ideally you're looking
which
for
is
N2
clearly
to get
marked.
to above 20%
There are
before
2
you go and bring the
exits at
fuel
the
in.
front and 2 at the rear of the aircraft.
Go and look
The nearest
outside.
exit may be
You'll
behind
see
you. In the event of an evacuation,
hot air pouring out of the
please
back.
leave all personal belongings behind and follow all safety
Okay, so
instructions
same
from
thing again for the others.
If a
So
power bank
Shift
or any
and
electronic
5,
device becomes hot or catches fire, please inform a crew member right away.
and then do number
For
3.
more details, please refer to the safety
Come back down to the
information
cockpit.
card located in your seat pocket.
Watch the
Thank you for your
N2,
attention.
and it's coming up through
Wish you
20
a pleasant
very
flight.
quickly. Then look under here, lift that one, and we can watch that happening. Watch the numbers coming up.
Eurowings 2 Hotel Lima ready for push.
Eurowings 2 Hotel Lima, pushback approved.
Okay, so then
Push
further
back and
overhead,
start
we can
approved.
go
Eurowings 2 Hotel Lima.
and press for engine number 1. And watching the N2 come through 20%. Jump down under here, press the red tab to... All you're doing is lifting the engine from shut off to idle, which allows the fuel flow through. And it's stabilizing nicely. So once that is done, we can go back overhead and we can rotate the bus to norm, which means the engines are then generating the electricity for us. We can go and put the transfer pumps on. And then we can come back down in here. We've already done the attitude indicator, did it a little bit earlier in the process than normal. Then Mach trim can go to on or up, that's down here. Galley power can go on, so Shift and 3. Galley power is at the bottom right of this. There it is there. It's not so obvious. Shift and 5 takes us back overhead. Windshield section, we can go and turn on the pilot, co-pilot and side windshield heating. We can also turn, should we do the, no, we'll do Peter heat when we get to the runway. So Shift and 9, APU can go off now, so we can turn off that bleed air and press stop, and that will all fall away, because remember we've turned the generators over already. And then the master can go to off.
Eurowings 2 Hotel Lima ready to taxi.
So then Shift and space brings us back
Eurowings 2
into the
Hotel
cockpit.
Lima, runway 13 left taxi via
We want to go and
Bravo,
find
Delta
the
7.
standby pump, which is to the bottom right.
Runway
Here it
13
is
left
there.
taxi
Look.
via Bravo.
Needs to
Alpha
go
7
to
Eurowings 2 Hotel
on.
Lima.
Primary flight controls, set the flaps as required. So we had said 20 degrees, didn't we? So 20 degrees. And we can prepare to taxi. So normally while you're taxiing you would want to go and put the transponder onto at least transponder
Eurowings
mode.
2
There we
Hotel
go.
Lima, contact tower on 124.
It's interesting that that's the other side, so you have to pass through TA and
Eurowings 2 Hotel
TARA.
Lima.
Does that actually set that? I presume it has. Should we press the test button? It's interesting that the focus is still in there. Interesting. Anyway. So you can see the only lights we've got left here are the pitot heats. We'll also need to go and check the trim. So stab trim looks good. Okay, so preparing to taxi, we're going to go and look overhead, Shift and 5, taxi light goes to on. And we can taxi to the runway. So obviously we need to talk to ground first and let them know. We'll go, and we're still on the ground frequency, so we are here. We're wanting to go to 31 right for departure, aren't we? Ground virtual 073 requesting taxi to runway 31 right.
Virtual 073, runway 31 right taxi via Delta Alpha, hold short of runway 24.
Taxi via Delta Alpha, hold short runway 24, virtual 073. So we have to stop right here. Okay, let's go and turn the parking brake off, ease the throttles forwards. And straighten our view up, turn the head tracking on. This has a really good turning circle, which is super useful. So, full disclosure, I've not flown the aeroplane yet, because I've been so sick the last couple of days. All I got to do was go and I sat on the ground operating the switches and just programming it up, or writing my documentation for it, but I haven't actually flown it yet. So this is going to be new to me, and I'm going to fumble from time to time, I would imagine. But that it will give you a very good first flight experience of the challenges that you might have as well. We're going to have a look outside at those lights while we're taxiing. So there's the taxi light. And we carry along here until the end and then turn right until we get to the runway. Makes you wonder what all these access roads are for, doesn't it? Some FedEx planes, some 747 freight planes down there. Somebody just taking off. Hold here before we can cross the runway, just in case.
Virtual 073, hold short of runway 24, 737 max vacating the runway.
Holding short of runway 24, virtual 073.
Approaching runway 24.
Well, I can't see a 73 max anywhere. Where is this 7.3 they're talking about? Talking nonsense. Should go and have a look on Little Nav Map, because it shows us where aeroplanes are, if we choose to show them. We're the wrong end of the route now, aren't we? There we go. There's an A320 leaving. I don't see any 73s around.
Ryanair 70 Papa Hotel boarding complete. Request pushback.
Ryanair 70 Papa Hotel, pushback approved.
Let's challenge the
Push and start approved. Ryanair 70 Papa Hotel.
ground, virtual 073, still holding runway 24. I don't see a 73 on runway 24. Getting some paperwork ready to have a go at me about this, aren't they? Should we just ask to cross again? Ground virtual 073 requesting permission to cross runway 24. Okay, let's go and cross and see if we get written up. Because there's no traffic around.
Ryanair 70 Papa Hotel, runway 6 taxi via November, Mike Bravo, hold short of runway 13 right.
Approaching runway 24.
We're just coming down towards the end of the runway. We'll go Alpha 1. I can't think we're going to need 12,000 feet worth of runway. We could probably have gone through Alpha 2, to be honest. So we've got this, when we engage autopilot eventually, we've got heading hold and pitch hold. And the autopilot button is, let's approach, where's the actual engage button for it? It's back here, isn't it? There it is. There. There's the yaw damper, there's the autopilot. So again, it's kind of all spread out. Can we... AP will turn it on here, look, there's a toggle for it. So you can click the screw to make your life a little bit easier. We do need to rotate the heading knob to go the direction we're facing. When we line up on the runway, we'll press the heading knob to align it. I'm guessing that's what that does as well. Yeah. So that, you can see the flight director correcting itself there. To be honest, I was just reading the live stream comments. I'm not surprised that Say Intentions has the odd bug, because what they are trying to do is just phenomenal, really. And it's not surprising at all that they're going to have odd wrinkles in the system now and again. So we'll come up and hold short, and then we'll call for tower.
Eurowings 3 Charlie Lima ready for pushback. Eurowings 3 Charlie Lima, push approved, expect taxi shortly. Virtual 073, contact tower on 124.98. Tschüss.
Contacting tower 124.98, good day. Tower Virtual 073 holding short runway 31 for departure. Let's go and get our landing lights on. We'll go and put the anti-collision to all.
Virtual 073, Cologne Bonn Airport Tower, runway 31 right, winds calm, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 31 right, Virtual 073. Now, once we've got ready, we're going to go and talk to them and ask them for vectors, because, as we've said, we don't have the standard instrument departure programmed in because it was missing on the FOS for some reason.
Approaching runway 31 right.
It's a bumpy old runway here, isn't it? in the middle of it. It's like a ski jump. Okay, parking brake on just for a moment. We need to go and do the pitot heats.
Runway 3
I'll turn
right,
the...
remain. 1,500 feet.
Just turn the head tracking off for a moment. And then press Shift and 5 to come overhead. And we'll go and just check that we've got everything ready. There's the pitot.
Ryanair 70 Papa Hotel, hold short of runway 6.
Everything else is looking
Holding short of
fine.
runway 6, Ryanair 70 Papa Hotel.
So landing lights are on. We can go and put the transponder to TA mode now. Okay, so this is where we're going to learn how to fly the airplane at last. This is not looking... Oh, we need to go and select the heading book, don't we? So if we press heading, now we're going in the right direction. So this is obviously going to make no sense because...
Ryanair 70 Papa Hotel, hold
earlier.
short of runway 6.
So we'll find out how that works along the way. So, parking brake off. Oh, well, let's have that quick conversation with the controllers. Tower, Virtual 073, we do not appear to have the standard instrument departure in our system. Will you be able to provide vectors following takeoff? I'm having a long think about it.
Ryanair 70 Papa Hotel, hold short of runway 6.
6 holding short, Ryanair 70 Papa Hotel.
Let's try once more. Tower, Virtual 073 lined up, runway 31. We do not appear to have the standard instrument departure in our FMS. Will you be able to provide vectors for us?
Virtual 073, after takeoff, fly runway heading until reaching 5,000 feet, then expect vectors for departure.
Fly runway heading to 5,000 feet and then expect vectors. Virtual 073, thank you. There we go. That's one of the huge things about say intentions. That's amazing. So head tracking on. Remember, we can click the screws to get autopilot. Hey, let's see what happens. It's all the way forwards.
Ryanair 70
It's interesting, I'm
Papa
watching the
Hotel, hold
gauges.
short of
Can we go
runway 6.
beyond 100%? No, it doesn't look like it.
6 holding short, Ryanair 70 Papa Hotel.
Just getting a feel for it. So it's gone in the air straight away. Gear up. What's up? Just trimming it. Okay, I don't like what that autopilot's just done to us. That was supposed to be pitch hold and it put the nose down, so I'm going to flatten myself for a moment. Until we get to 5,000 at least. So I'll just follow the runway heading.
Virtual 073, contact Cologne Bonn departure on 121.055.
Contacting Cologne Bonn departures 121.055 Virtual 073. Cologne Bonn departures Virtual 073 departing Cologne, requesting vectors for next part of flight plan. I don't want to have to spend ages explaining to them what's
Virtual 073 identified. Climb flight level 140.
Climbing flight level 140, Virtual 073. They're not going to give us vectors, are they? power down and climbing. Let's see if we can get this to hold itself. So vertical speed. Yeah, it won't go. I'm going to have to turn the head tracking off. The screws are so small. And now we're over. Oh no, we're not over speeding. What was the alarm for? Oh, stability. No, I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Oh, it's the target altitude, wasn't it? So we want 140 over here. That's the klaxon to tell you that you're within 1,000, or you've hit your altitude. I think it was at 5,000. It went buzz, which was interesting. So we're going to have to make this ourselves, aren't we? Let's turn right then to get back onto the route about 95 degrees to 100 degrees probably by the time we turn. What was the transition altitude? Let's go double check that while we're in the turn. It's a bit of a hairy way to do it, but we'll go and have a look. We want some Navigraph really, don't we? We could ask the co-pilot, of course. 5,000 feet, so we've already gone through it. So we need to be... So it's 30 degrees, 60 degrees. We're coming round towards the course look. To see it now, coming into view. So about 100 or 95 degrees would be about right to go to that first waypoint. We'll sort the barometric pressure out in a moment.
We are pleased to inform you that the use of approved electronic devices is now permitted in flight mode. Our cabin service will begin shortly. Thank you for your attention, and we hope you enjoy the flight with virtual flight.
So we've just come through 10,000 feet as well. So landing lights off. I'm just trimming it. The sound you can hear is me trimming the aeroplane. So 2992 on here. It doesn't help that it's doing that rendering thing where it's slow. It's kind of fuzzy. That's a problem with the simulator, by the way, when it does that. So we're 1,000 feet away from 14,000 now. So let's reduce our climb rate. Can we do altitude hold via this? That might be quite nice. So we need to go heading hold, the direction we're going, and then autopilot on, and then it hasn't got an altitude hold button there. We'll have to make the best of it. Alt hold, there we go. And then we keep an eye on the speed. So obviously now we've leveled out, we're going to accelerate so we can put the engines back. Just let it climb in speed gently. Let's go and get the altimeter the other side sorted out. So we're jumping around the cockpit like Spider-Man. 29902. So we've got correct altitudes. There we go. We're coming in towards Podip, so we can correct our
will now begin the snack and beverage service.
routing now. Has this got a direct to button? Yes, it has. We want to go to Podip, enter. Okay, does that actually work?
Thank you for flying with us today.
Yes, it does. So then we can press nav. And it should start guiding. And it is. Hurrah! We're out of the woods of having no SID and not really understanding how to fly the airplane until just now.
Roger, Ryanair 70 Papa Hotel, 2,000 for 4,000.
And that is corrected on this
Ryanair
display as well, look,
Hotel,
which is
Langley
quite
radar,
cool.
radar contact.
So let's zoom
Climb and
out
maintain
on
flight
here.
level 060.
There's Podip going towards it.
Out of 2,000 for flight level 060, Ryanair 70 Papa Hotel.
Are they going to let us go higher? Who are we talking to again? Cologne Bonn departure. Cologne Bonn departure, virtual 073 now at flight level 140. Oh no, not we're at 120. Well, that was set for 120. That's interesting because it's 200 feet out, it's complaining at us. That's interesting that the radio was so bad there we didn't hear it. Climbing flight level 230, virtual 073. So let's go and do that. So we'll set the pre-selector for flight level 230 and we'll have a look at the modes. So if we go down here, can we do a flight level change? We've got climb mode, which is automatic then. So we just need to alter the power. So we'll open the engines back up and give it full beans. So yeah, so I'm obviously learning this as I go, so you're seeing the same struggles you might have on your first flight, which I always think is really useful. So we'll see if the guidance works once we come through.
073, contact Langen radar on 133.435.
Contacting Langen radar 133.435, virtual 073, good day. Langen radar, virtual 073, climbing through 18,500 feet for flight level 230.
Virtual 073, Langen radar, identified. Good afternoon.
So what cruise level have we been given? 35, okay. 350. Interesting. Oh, you know something I didn't do when we started the airplane up, and it might be a bit late now. Let's go and set the altitude that we're going to want later on. So flight level 350. We might get an alarm.
Virtual 073, contact Langen radar on 127.625.
Contacting Langen radar 127.625, virtual 073, good day. Langen radar virtual 073 with you, passing flight level 210 for 230.
Virtual 073, Langen radar identified, good afternoon.
And that's the buzzer saying we are, it seems to be 1,200 feet before the altitude, which is a bit of an odd number. And then it flashes up here to say you're approaching it. Interesting. And it's leveled out nicely. And let's see what sort of speed it does then. So I've still got the throttles jammed against the stops. And you can see it accelerating. It's fascinating as well that the ribbon doesn't move, only the marker does. So it redraws the ribbon when it goes off one end. So I'm guessing the dots mean there's more ribbon in that direction.
Virtual 073, climb flight level 330.
Climbing flight level 330, virtual 073. So we'll go flight level 330, and down here we go climb mode. And it's trimming as it goes and converting all of that airspeed. Now it has got a speed marker, so it must have a speed mode. Yes, it does. Interesting. Presumably it reads it at the point you press it.
Virtual 073, contact Langen radar on 135.65.
Contacting Langen radar 135.65, virtual 073, good day. Langen radar virtual 073 with you, passing through flight level 270 for flight level 330.
Virtual 073, Langen radar identified. Good afternoon.
Let's go and have a look at the map. Why are we getting all these sector changes? We must be passing through the edges of them. I wonder if we can see it on the Navigraph any better. Zoom out, get rid of the maps. Yeah, we're just going in between, look, these various different sectors on the way out. So we have one there, another one. Although it still doesn't make sense why we have multiples. Okay, we're on our way towards Berlin. Let's have a look from outside. It's a nice looking airplane, isn't it? Look how negative the tailplane is compared to the line of the body. Interesting. I wonder if the engine, if that coming out of there has an effect on that. I don't know.
073, climb flight level 350.
Climbing flight level 350, virtual 073. So, presumably, we just dial that to 350. It doesn't show here what we're aiming for, does it? It is just on the pre-selector. Interesting aeroplane though. It's good fun. As I said earlier, the only issue for me is that these buttons are tucked away down here, so doing things in concert with looking at the screens can be problematic, but having these screws that you can manipulate helps enormously actually. They obviously know that's an issue, you know, it's a simulator issue. In the real world it wouldn't be an issue at all. Should put the yoke back on. It's a nice looking plane. Okay, let's have a play with some of the other toys. So, while we're en route, we can go and have a look at the charts. Going into Navigraph. Whoa! What is happening? The airplane just jumped up and down. I think this is something to do. They've put a browser in here. This is not a native Navigraph plugin. They've shoehorned an entire browser into the tablet. That's the web version of Navigraph. If you don't believe me, if you go and open a browser and you go to Navigraph, and you go for login, and I'll say it's me obviously, and if you go to downloads, you can launch the cloud version. And you're going to see exactly the same thing that's in that tablet. And there it is. That is that. I'll just close that. That's our buzzer for the altitude, which is now 1,200 feet away. That's weird, isn't it? So, if we can unload this, we can import from SimBrief. There's our flight plan. And we can see our location on it. We can zoom in. It stutters a bit, doesn't it? It kind of breaks the rendering of the simulator when it appears. But it's there and it works, so I won't bother with that. Obviously this is the flight simulator system, so what you could do is go into something like a little nav map, or if you programmed your flight somewhere else beforehand.
073, contact Bremen radar on 128.76.
Let me go and do that first. Say intentions. Contacting Bremen radar 128.76 virtual 073. Good day. Bremen radar virtual 073 with you, flight level 350. So what you could do is I've gone into little nav map and I've just copied the route. So I will now have the text route. So I can then go to not there. I want to go to a browser, don't I? Go to planner.flightsimulator.com. And close that. Paste in here what I've just nicked from little nav map. So I just save it and it should figure the route out. And there it is. And then I can save this within here. So let's make the window bigger so we can see the buttons. Save it and save the plan. And we can close that now. And then back within the simulator, yeah, if we press tab to open up the EFB, we can go to the flight planner in here. And we can go to the route and we can open from the web, select the one we've just saved, and there's our flight plan. I know it's a bit of a circuitous way of doing it, but it's quite cool, isn't it? And then you can go and change the map in this to make it a bit easier to look at, a bit easier on the eye. So you can see what you're doing. This obviously also has the Lufthansa systems charts in it. So if we go and look in here, it's showing the wrong airport by default, so we have to go in here and I can never remember how this works. How do we change the airport? Information. No. Why is it not showing us the charts for our route? Search. We'll go EDDB, which will be Berlin. There we go. So then we can go to the charts for Berlin, and what's the route we're coming in on? Ogba 1 Romeo. So obviously we have to go in and look for them. So arrivals, Ogba 1 Lima, 1 Romeo. So then you get to see the Lufthansa systems version. So that begins at Ogba, look, and we turn in and start flying this racetrack to come into the airfield. And there's both of the approaches in there, look. So if you look here, they line up with the runways. So that all comes with the simulator, by the way. So it just proves you don't actually need Navigraph at all. Navigraphs are nice to have. But you can do the same thing in a web browser as well. You can use the Lufthansa systems charts. So someone's mentioning about the flight director button being very, very small. So which ones have we actually got on here? Let's get the yoke out of the way. So on the screw ends we've got course, heading, altitude, vertical speed, yaw damper, autopilot, and then if we press Alt and 1, we've got bank amount, we've got heading, climb, nav, approach, speed, vertical speed, descent, VNav. You've got the HSI mode and course toggles. We've also got some interesting ones here, look, nav data. I've not tried half these buttons yet. Do we get out? No, there's not going to be a weather radar on here, is there? That's going to be far too much to ask for. Someone's going to tell me in a moment that it has got it. Just having a look through some of the buttons. So we got a lot of buttons, isn't there, to do things. It's very good. It'll be fun, obviously, once we've got used to it, to do some VOR hopping. Although saying that VORs are disappearing, aren't they? I presume we can click on the top of this to put it back away, or do we have to click down here? No. Oh, there's next. There we go. I'll put it back in the tray out of the way. So, is this just a visual indicator? I think it is, isn't it? And you can drag it. But it doesn't, it's just for you to use for a visual indicator when you're trying to hit a particular airspeed.
Departure, Sun Express, 7 Juliet, 2000 to 4000.
Sun Express 7 Uniform Juliet, Langen radar, radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 110.
I'm just wondering what we haven't done. Looks okay so far. I'll have to do a night flight so we can try all the lighting out. Obviously you can rotate all of the light switches, they're fairly obvious. A lot more obvious than most aeroplanes. That's the pressurization rate, I'm guessing. It doesn't appear to move. Oh, it does, but just very, very slowly. That's interesting. Why is it so slow? Oh, I promised on the way, let me just check where we are before I start fiddling around with the aeroplane. So we're coming up towards the star. Oh, I calculated the performance file for this earlier, by the way.
Virtual 073, contact Bremen radar on 118.055.
Contacting Bremen radar 118.055, virtual 073, good day. Bremen radar, virtual 073 with you, flight level 350. They didn't come through on the radio very clearly. What I was going to do is go and have a wander down. So we've got we've got passengers, I was going to say, so they're actually not bad modelling for a change. That actually looks a bit zombie-like, but actually they all do. What is it with the skin tones on the people in the aeroplanes? How do they manage to do it? So can we play with some of these options? In terms of food, maybe. Any click spots on these things? I'm just trying things out now. See what they've done. I tried an aeroplane out the other day and every single draw worked. Yeah, they've just done a minimal amount in this one. It is a bit overkill, I think, when everything works. Presumably we can put those back away. Do the blinds work? Yes, they do. But they didn't have a click spot on them. That's interesting. Can we put that back? Yes, we can. What about the cans? Can we do anything with them? What about the toilet at the back of the airplane? That's not clickable. Can we walk through it? No. Unless there's another click spot somewhere and I've just not found it. It always does strike me as a bit strange that you can go and look at the toilet in the aeroplane. It's like, oh really? Are there that many toilet fans around? Although, if you'd said that to my daughters when they were about 5, whenever we went anywhere, they would want to go to the toilet about 15,000 times. Okay, so we've got flap speeds down here. This is good to know in advance.
Virtual 073, descend via OG by 1 Romeo to 3000 for the ILS Zulu runway 6 right approach into Berlin. QNH 1018.
Descend via the Ogba 1 Romeo to 3,000 feet for the ILS Zulu runway 6 right approach into Berlin. QNH 1018, Virtual 073. So, are we anywhere near top of descent yet? Yes, we are. So we're going to go and dial in 3000 and hit the descent button and see what happens. If you go closer to this, no, you just have to roll the mouse on it for a year and a day. Let's go and start that descent while we're busy rolling this. So we want to say descend, and then we'll carry on rolling it. Can we? Oh, we can get thousands. Okay, you have to push it to go between hundreds and thousands. Good to know. I found out eventually. Are we descending? Not really. So presumably I need to pull the throttles back. And it's trimming like crazy. So this would be fascinating actually to see how it behaves. So let's have a look. There's the... One of the nice things little nav map can do is a vector. And it's obviously got the constraints, so we don't need to be coming down quite that steeply. So should we try out speed mode and go for 250 and see what happens? Speed. And now, does that mean, do we get a speed, indicated airspeed? Yes. So we want 250. About there. No, in the middle of those two there. So to hit 250 knots, it's gone and raised. It's climbed. Look, to hit the airspeed target. So we're now descending again too steeply, but I'm going to bring the throttle in to control the descent rate. So you can see we've got vertical speed here. So I'm going to bring the throttles up gently and try and bring us down at a couple of thousand feet a minute, I guess. So more power. Here comes the vertical speed. So we're gently lifting this descent vector into the right ballpark by introducing power while in the glide. Still a bit, yeah.
Virtual 073, expect the ILS Zulu runway 6 right approach into Berlin, and confirm you have information, Victor.
Expecting the ILS Zulu runway 6 right approach into Berlin, confirming information, Victor, which was 073. So we need to go and check frequencies as well to go and tune the nav radios while we're on our way. We've got a few minutes, so let's go and have a look at that. So coming into, we haven't chosen it here, have we? 6 right, add to route. That gives us the approach chart. So 109.7, 64 degrees. Nav 1, 109.7. Oh, look at that. Isn't that interesting? So we'll put that on actual or active. And then we need to set the courses, but I don't think we can while we're on FMS. But we could always pull the heading bug round to the right direction, which will be 64 degrees. So we're obviously not going to use the heading bug, but we can do it here, can't we? We can roll the mouse on that screw. Oh no, that snaps it to the heading, doesn't it? So we'll have to use this one. So we want 64 degrees. Once we switch the FMS over, we'll be able to set the heading bugs, the course for the HSI. It may do it itself. That may be a modern aeroplane thing though, where once you go to ILS, the course lines itself up. Because I think that comes from the database and things like the Airbus fleet. How are we doing on that descent? Yeah, we're coming down far too steeply, look. So let's... And it's dropped the speed. That's interesting. Why did it do that? It was supposed to be on speed mode. And it is. And it hasn't held it. It was supposed to be doing 250 knots and we're doing 340. And it's not altering the pitch. So let's go for vertical speed mode instead, just to try it, and roll this backwards. So we can now dial in essentially the vertical speed that we want. We're not too low yet, no. We need to get 12,000 feet though, don't we? Is it just above? Yeah, above 12,000. Just trying all the modes out really. And we need to get the speed down to 250 to get below 10,000 feet. So we are on track now, which is good. So will descent mode handle the constraints? Because it's got, oh, it's got VNAV, okay, let's try it. But it's allowing vertical speed and VNAV. So we'll turn vertical speed off, we'll go for VNAV mode. Maybe we can just say descent now. So descend and VNAV are on. We're going to find out, aren't we? So it's coming down, so it should stop itself at 12,000 feet if we're correct. And it has not. It's diving for the floor. So we're going to go for altitude hold.
Virtual 073, contact Berlin approach on 121.13.
Contacting Berlin approach 121.13, virtual 073. So we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way.
Raymond Radar Center, Lufthansa 8, checking in, flight level 380.
Luckily we haven't bust the airspeed below 10,000 feet, but we're going to get the landing lights on now.
Raymond Radar Center, Lufthansa 8, PIREP, moderate turbulence at flight level 380. Thanks, we'll put that out.
Okay, so let's go and get the heading bug going the direction we want to go.
Virgin 302 identified.
We'll do the course and the heading.
Raymond Radar Center,
we'll
Port 282 checking in at flight level 360.
We'll also go vertical speed instead of VNAV because it didn't appear to do anything.
Flight level 380.
And we're going too slowly. So
Speedbird 143, traffic 2 o'clock, 15 miles, crossing left to right, a Boeing 737 at flight level 330.
Just wary of how quickly or slowly the engines spool up. So bringing this back up
Raymond
to
Radar Center, KLM 873, flight level 320.
Let's have a look on the Navigraph chart and see what
Speedbird 143, contact Warsaw Radar Center on 134.225.
Max 220 knots once we get down to
Warsaw Radar Center 134.225, good afternoon.
So we're looking above 8,000, above 6,000,
Sun Express
above
1,
6,000,
contact Warsaw
above
Radar
4,000.
Center on 125.34.
So above 120, we're too slow. Yeah, we're too low at the moment. We are slowly climbing again, so we've broken the level on this one, but we're not going to worry too much because we're learning. This is what simulators are for.
VLM59, flight level 320.
It's interesting that VNAV didn't do anything. Maybe it isn't implemented.
Flight level 200.
Or maybe it was a conflict with another mode I had engaged at the same time. So we've still got FMS navigation. It's trying to climb at 500 feet a minute at the moment. We'll correct that and get it slowly descending in a few moments. So we should turn, there we go, flight director's kicked in, and we're turning towards...
Freeman
So
Radar
we should
Center,
do a kind
Ryanair
of
98,
racetrack.
flight level 350 for flight level 360.
Ryanair 98, good afternoon.
This is weird, doesn't it?
F09, flight level 380. 09, Freeman Radar Center identified.
Hynix 7922 at flight level 320. Hynix 7922, Bremen Radar Center identified. 204, traffic 10 o'clock, 8 miles,
just
opposite direction.
badly, maybe.
Turboprop at flight level 370.
We have the traffic, 204.
I'm inclined to go with heading mode, you know.
Climbing flight level 240, 2 Juliet Yankee.
And to take
Freeman Radar
over...
Center, Speedbird 989 at flight level 330.
989 identified.
Yeah, this is wrong.
Flyer 34, flight level 170.
The guidance has loaded the flight plan wrong.
2 Juliet Yankee,
that'd be
contact
why.
Munich Radar Center on 124.96.
So if we look at the list of waypoints, they're not going to match DB 931, 511, 531.
Scandinavian 67
Yeah,
at
they're
flight
completely
level
wrong there.
370.
Scandinavian 67 identified.
Even though we chose the right bits in the approach, it's done it wrong.
Just confirming you have us.
So we're going to go heading mode all the way in and put the vectors in ourselves. We'll be fairly close to it, so we need to come down to 220 knots anyway and start descending again. So vertical speed, let's get this descending.
55, Bremen Radar Center identified.
Freeman Radar Center, Lufthansa 2 checking in, flight level 230.
So we're coming down about
flight
1,000
level
feet a minute,
190.
should be fine for the moment. We can always come down more steeply in a few moments. So we've got to flow all the way around here, look.
Lufthansa 1, contact Munich Radar Center on 118.235.
Couple of degrees to the right.
Switching to 118.235,
Except we
Lufthansa
can't
1.
do it here, we have to do it here.
59, just confirming you have us.
And we're going to go heading mode now, which I can't see the writing because it's so tiny down here.
Astana line 921, contact Munich Radar Center on 125.875. Good afternoon.
See, now we're in heading mode. I wonder if we can go reprogram this and just double check it. So, arrive.
Red nose 55, climb to flight level 360, report level.
Enter. Ogba 1 Romeo, wasn't it?
Red nose 55. 2 Romeo Zulu, climb to flight level 360, report level.
And now it's working.
Flight level 350 for flight
How
level 360,
strange.
2 Romeo Zulu.
So can we go... What's the next waypoint going to be? 531.
KLM
So,
21, copy the turbulence, will
in
advise
there.
traffic.
Instead of heading,
Red nose 3, contact Munich Radar Center on 118.235. Good afternoon.
will it correct itself?
Over to Munich Radar Center on 118.235, Red nose 3. Bremen Radar
So
Center,
on
Red nose
FMS
5051, checking in, flight level 310.
Perhaps we have to go direct 531 to get it to pick it up.
Bremen Radar Center, Pollard 1 with you at flight level 340.
Identified.
Yeah, it's working.
Freeman Radar Center, Speedbird 843 checking in at flight level 330.
Are we too late? No, it's straightening up. Looks good. Can we bring the range
Radar
down?
Center, Scandinavian 23, checking in, flight level 380.
Scandinavian 23 identified.
Bremen Radar Center, KLM 64 checking in, flight level 310.
Towards 533.
Bremen Radar Center
Seems to be working. Oh, we're going far too slowly, but that was needed to do a tight turn, to be honest. Well, we're still descending, we're at 10,000 feet. Let's have a look at the proper chart.
Contact Langen Radar Center on 125.225.
So above 6,000 by the time we get to the far corner. So we'll leave it descending at the rate it's going.
Bremen Radar Center, Ryanair 9954 with you at flight level 370.
And we'll hold it at 220 knots, wasn't it, was the maximum. Once we get down to here. So we can go a bit faster than we're going at the moment.
Ryanair 3 descend to flight level 150 at your discretion. Pilot's discretion.
Well, at least we got this working.
Leaving flight level 280 for flight level 150, Ryanair 3. Ryanair 98 when ready, descend to flight level 330.
Kindly return your tray tables.
Out of flight level 370 for flight level 330, Ryanair
Quite
98.
late rolling out of the turns, isn't it? It's
The current weather in
overshooting.
Berlin is clear with a temperature of around 10 degrees Celsius.
So we're doing 200
Our
knots.
assigned gate is
Pulled it forward back.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Finnair 09, contact Sweden Control on 124.155.
Coming down to 8,000 feet, what were the constraints?
154.155. Good
That's
afternoon,
fine.
Finnair 09.
So it's just 6,000 at DB546,
Flight level 170, Eurowings 3.
which is over there. So let's lessen the
8 Whiskey Foxtrot,
descent
contact
rate.
Munich Radar Center on 124.96, so long.
Munich Radar Center 124.96. Good afternoon, 8 Whiskey Foxtrot.
Ryanair 98, descend to flight level 330, expect lower.
We had any comms in there while we were doing that.
Climb to flight level 400. Flight level 400, Red House 55.
Did I contact them?
Emirates 59.
Berlin approach, Virtual 073 with you, descending on Oscar 1 Romeo, arrival for runway 06 right.
Virtual 073, Berlin approach identified. Good afternoon.
Panic over. We're sedately descending now. So let's zoom in on this. This gives us a nice view as well of the star. So it was a bit hairy there for a few minutes, just kind of getting that orientation of what modes we can use, and I don't know what happened with this. It had obviously had the wrong procedure.
Flight level 150.
I bet if I watch it back, I'll see I clicked on the wrong button or something.
6 kilo Bremen radar identified.
So nav radio's tuned in for the ILS already. We just need to get the course going in the right direction when we get there. Can we press course to, yes we can, to line it up with the direction we're going. So that speeds things up enormously. I'm just going to ease the throttles back a bit. Don't want to get too fast around these last few corners. So we can... Yeah, it's probably better the next level up, isn't it? For the zoom, 10 miles range there. It's a shame, isn't it? We've got this wonderful world outside and we're obsessing over the controls and the instruments. Especially when you've got crazy weather coming up that we're going to be delving into soon. We're probably going to just avoid it, aren't we, actually? Yeah, we're turning left any moment. Quite fortunate, really, given that there's a horrible weather system right in front of us. And we're starting our left turn right now, away from it. Okay, so how are we doing on altitude? 6,800 feet, so let's lessen that vertical speed a little bit more. So if we go and have a look on the map, we can see we've got a hell of a long run in. So we'll have loads of time. Yeah. 30 miles worth of running towards the airport. So 190 knots at the moment, that's fine. Maybe open the throttle before it bleeds off completely. We're eking our way down towards 6,000 feet, so let's go and
Ryanair 58 Zulu Mike, Bremen radar contact. Climb and maintain
above
flight level
6,000.
120.
So as soon as we straighten up,
Flight level 120, Ryanair 58 Zulu Mike.
we can figure this out, can't we? If we look at the altitude of the airport, and this will be on the chart anyway, but this is another way of looking at it. So you've got Berlin-Brandenburg Airport here, 142 feet. So we want 2,500 feet, 8 miles out, above ground level.
Bremen radar on 1.
So 26 and a bit thousand feet.
125.3.
So 2,650 feet would give us the right altitude there. So that's the target we're really looking for. Obviously, if you look on the approach chart, you're going to see all that mapped out for you. Oh, they're just saying 3,000 look to join. That's fine. So slowly straightening up. It's going to start making the left turn towards the runway. You can see the airport out there. It's a long way away yet. So I'm going to let this descend now down to 3,000 feet. 1,000 feet a minute. And now we are straightened up, we can get the heading bug going in the direction we're going. The airplane's swaying around a little bit, isn't it? We haven't had the yaw damper on, have we? Oh, we did have the yaw damper. I tell a lie. But turning the yaw damper off has switched off the autopilot. That's interesting. So they are not mutually exclusive. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's go and change the mode of the navigation display. So it's in FMS mode at the moment. There's nav 1. There's the localizer. So if we press nav now, are we close enough? Yes, it's tracking across to get onto the localizer. But has it got the course is the next question. We've got heading and yes, course is preset. So that's what we wondered about. So by having the ILS frequency, the course is preset to 64 degrees. And that's going to be late again, look. We've gone through the middle. And it's only just starting to turn now. So it's going to fishtail a little bit to pick up the course. Here comes the glide slope. And there's the runway. We're doing 190 knots. So I'm going to take the autopilot off in a moment and just fly it. Otherwise, how do you learn these things if you don't do it yourself? Okay, just calibrating the camera for the head tracking. Get the mouse out of my way, get the throttles ready in my hands. we will be handed off to the tower very soon, won't we? So we're just coming up to the glide slope. So autopilot off. And you can see it's flashing over here. So this is me now. Give the wings a waggle. And we're going to follow the glide slope down. And the localizer, obviously. But we can see outside the window. A nice clean run in. Does it show wind? Yes. You should get the wind vector here. So the wind is slightly from the right hand side, 7 knots. So we'll need to turn into the course slightly to hold it. We're going a little bit high. Let's get rid of some of this speed. So, flap speeds, 20 degrees at 190 knots.
Departure Air France 12 Delta Delta 2000 for 4000.
What about gear speeds? Have they written that?
Delta Delta,
No.
Bremen radar, climb and maintain flight level 090.
Climb flight level 090 Air France 12
What
Delta
about
Delta.
spoilers? So that's the target altitude coming through. Looks like 1,200 feet away from 3,000. So I'm using the spoilers. Let's have a look at them. Where are they? Oh, they're on the wings.
Virtual 073, 3 miles from TEPCO. Turn left heading 065. Cleared for the ILS Zulu runway 6 right approach.
Cleared for the ILS Zulu 6 right approach, virtual 073. So let's get the gear down.
Virtual 073, contact Berlin Tower on 118.805.
So we've gone in low, but that's fine. I'm just getting the speed stabilised with the flaps and the gear.
Air France 12 Delta Delta, contact Bremen radar on 125.3.
125.3 Air France 12 Delta Delta.
Contacting Berlin Tower 118.805, virtual 073. Berlin Tower, virtual 073 with you engaged on the localizer runway 06 right.
Virtual 073 Berlin Tower, expect late landing clearance, runway 06 right.
Okay, expecting late landing clearance, runway 6 right, virtual 073. Let's get us back up on the glide slope, shall we? Keep wobbling around. Doesn't like going that slowly, does it? But this is the first time we've gone this slowly, so full flaps. And there's no minimum speed markers on the indicated airspeed ribbon, so we're having to kind of wing it a little bit. I guess if I bring it in 130 knots or so, it should be fairly safe, 140 maybe. Let's have a look at it now it's all fully configured. It's a weird looking thing, isn't it? The nose seems to be very pitchy at low speed. I'm finding this out here before we get too low to find out how it behaves when we get a little bit slower. It's very odd. So yeah, I'm going to raise the speed a little bit. Maybe it's just a bit gusty today.
Bluebird 273, holding short, 24 right, ready for departure.
Still well above the glide slope, but we're bringing
Bluebird 273, winds 360 at 5, runway 24 right, cleared for takeoff. Have a good flight. Virtual 073, runway 06 right, wind 050 at 7, cleared to land.
Clear to land, runway 06 right, virtual 073. glide slow. Oh, it doesn't want to come back out of the dive. Need to give it a lot of elevator. It's not very responsive. Well, more than I thought I should.
Alpine 903 Delta Lima, contact departure. Switching to departure, Alpine 903 Delta Lima.
Approaching runway 6, right.
Yeah, it really doesn't like getting below about 140 knots. It smooths out a lot above 140 knots. I don't know what headwind we've got. About 5-6 knots. Okay. Do the PAPI lights match the ILS? Yes, they do. Glide slope. It's interesting that that few knots between 135 and 140 makes a huge amount of difference to the lift. It started to fly again rather than sink.
Light slope. 30, 20, 10.
Roll long.
Bluebird 273, contact departure.
Departure, Bluebird 273.
I'll go for the next exit.
Wiz Malta 358, wind
trying to get closer to
0505,
the,
runway 6 right, cleared to land. Welcome to Berlin.
6 right, clear to land, Wiz Malta 358.
Wheel brakes. Ground. Berlin ground virtual 073. Requesting taxi to the gates, please. I should have told them where I am.
Virtual 073, exit at Mike 4 if able. Contact ground on 121.705.
Thank you for flying.
I thought I already did.
Flight.online. Please remain seated until we reach our final
Okay, we're at Mike 6.
On behalf of your flight,
Virtual 073, taxi to apron W3 via Mike 6, Alpha Tango. Good day.
We have some upcoming connections. Flight 223 to Frankfurt.
Taxi to Whiskey 3 via Mike 6, Alpha and Tango, virtual 073. So, Whiskey 6. No, sorry, Whiskey 3. Which is over here. Obviously a business jet. I don't get to go in the big gates where the big jets are. So Alpha Tango. Okay, so immediate left turn. Oh, that's a shame. I wanted to go and see the gates.
Alpine 38 Delta Papa,
so
taxi to
Alpha
parking.
and then Tango, so I'll have to keep our eyes peeled.
Alpine 38 Delta Papa, taxi to parking via Mike 6, Papa 2, Bravo, Victor 1, Echo.
That's
Mike 6, Papa 2, Bravo, Victor 1, Echo, Alpine 38 Delta Papa.
it's going to be difficult to see these, isn't it? This This is Q2 and Q1, then Romeo, then Tango. Tango is obviously the one that goes all the way up the side of those buildings, so it's the next one. So, can you follow this on transmitter? You could if I was running transmitter and I didn't think to start it. I'm sorry about that. So if I go and run it, for anybody who's not seen it, I wrote transmitter a few years ago. I need to go and put my flight in here, don't I? So the FA50 connect. So what transmitter will do is go radar, and you'll see now, if you go and look at where Germany is, there we are, there's me. Sing along. There's my label before I changed it. That will disappear in a moment. This one's carrying on.
Hotel Charlie, push and start at your discretion.
I need to go and keep an eye on where I am.
Pushback and start approved. Eurowings 2
3
Hotel
is the
Charlie.
next left turn. Over here. I have not got enough hands to do all this stuff at the same time. It's this. More than listening to the story. We're going to park.
With Malta 358, taxi to the ramp.
With Malta 358, taxi to parking via Mike 6, Papa 2, Charlie, Victor 4, Foxtrot.
Mike 6, Papa 2, Charlie, Victor 4, Foxtrot, with Malta 358.
Parking brake on. So, you have the option now, I guess, of either putting the APU on before shutting the engines down, or we can go into the tablet, go to the Contrail FA50 app, go to ground operations, ask for the chocks to be put in place. Oh, we can't. External power, no. Do we have to shut the engines down first, maybe? That would imply... Okay, let's do it the other way around then. So, master on.
Alpine 53 Yankee Bravo doors closed, ready for push and start.
Alpine 53 Yankee Bravo cleared for push and start.
Roger, pushback approved, Alpine 53 Yankee Bravo.
Why will it not start the APU? Is that a toggle? That's interesting.
Ryanair 3 Zulu Whiskey, runway 6 left taxi via Foxtrot, Victor 3 Delta Lima 1.
Wait for this to change colour.
Runway 6
Let's
left
start.
taxi via Foxtrot,
And it doesn't come
Victor
back
3
up.
Delta Lima 1.
Interesting,
Ryanair
okay, I'll
3
leave it.
Whiskey.
So we're going to hear noises when we disconnect things to get ready for it. Oh, you'd have to change the bus over.
Runway 6 right taxi
Maybe
via
you'd be
Victor
able to
2,
fire up the APU
Bravo,
before
Victor
switching the
1
bus back,
Alpha,
but
Mike 6, hold short of runway 24
that's odd.
left.
Runway 6 right taxi via Victor 2, Bravo, Victor 1, Alpha, Mike 6, hold short of runway 24 left, Eurowings 2 Hotel Charlie.
So if I change that over, and then we go over here, try it again, just once more. This will change colour. And now it works. Interesting. So you're having to do this before you've actually Well, you have to change the bus over before you can connect it.
Alpine 53 Yankee Bravo ready to taxi.
Weird.
Alpine 53 Yankee Bravo, runway 6 left taxi via Echo Bravo
So
Victor
now
1
we have
Alpha
the
Papa
APU.
2 Delta Lima
We
1.
can come down here and go
Runway
Clonk.
6 left taxi via Echo Bravo Victor 1 Alpha
Clonk.
Papa 2
Clonk.
Delta Lima 1
Shut
Alpine
the engines
53
down.
Yankee Bravo.
We should have had the lights off as well by now, by the way.
Alpine 89er Bravo Romeo, doors closed, ready for push and start.
Alpine 89er Bravo Romeo cleared for push and start.
Pitot lights off. Pitot heaters off.
Roger, pushback approved. Alpine 89er Bravo Romeo.
Windshield heating off.
Turkish 8 Tango Victor, doors closed, ready for push and start.
Transfer pumps
Turkish
off.
8 Tango Victor cleared for push
Leave
and
that
start.
one on. Generators 1, 2 and 3 can come off.
Turkish 8 Tango Victor.
So let's see how realistic this is. If we go and turn the comm radios off, have they integrated it? I don't know if we can actually. It says on at the moment, but if we... Can we just turn them off? No, it's not. The volume isn't operable. Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that. We've shut most of it down. We're just running on the APU now. We can obviously go and open the door if we wish to. So, if it will let us. Yeah, we can open the door now. Oh, we now can have. So it was connected to the engines running. It wouldn't let us do anything. Chock's back in place. We can put the external power on the aeroplane now as well. There we go. So there we go. That was a bit of a discovery flight, really, wasn't it? From Cologne and Bonn over to Berlin in the Contrail Dassault Falcon 50 or FA50 is its ICAO code.
Approved. Air Portugal 31 Delta Bravo.
We learnt quite a lot there, didn't we? There was a few moments of not blind panic, but just not knowing, where things were or what modes would interoperate. But we got there in the end. I think the VNAV was a bit strange. I'll have to go and read the book. Perhaps it doesn't have VNAV implemented because it buzzed straight through, didn't it? You'd have expected it to have captured the next altitude, but maybe this is a fairly old aeroplane, maybe it can't do that. Who knows? Another one to find out. On the very long list of things to find out about all sorts of aeroplanes in this sim. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed that this evening. See you again soon. Thank you very much for following along with me on my various escapades in the sim. I do have a Discord server now, so if you are interested in finding out what I'm getting up to, if you go to johnbeckett.online and you will see you can connect. There's obviously the YouTube channel, the Discord server, the Substack newsletter, so everything I do goes out on the newsletter, but it also goes out on Discord now as well. So if you join that server, you will see everything I do in there. And obviously you can ask questions, and the community can join in with you. And all the procedures I write are available from the Ko-fi shop. So if you go and visit in there, you can
runway 6 right taxi
go
via
and see
Victor
them
2
all.
Bravo Victor 1
Anyway,
Alpha Mike 6 hold short of
I'm
runway
going to leave it
24
there.
left, Turkish
See you again
8 Tango
soon.
Victor.
Take care.